Hello and welcome back to the Percepta Leadership Series. Today, Rachel and I are joined by a pretty familiar face around Percepta, Tammy Godby. Thank you for being here today. Oh my gosh, happy May, everybody.
Happy May!
Can't even believe it. We were just talking off air and we were saying how Mental Health Awareness Month is coming. And then I was like, oh, wait, it's actually here. Hey, it starts today. So really cool to be here today to talk about some stuff that we're all very passionate about. And that is really, really cool stuff that Percepta does for us as employees and all of our employees as well. So thank you guys for joining me today to talk about Mental Health Awareness Month. Looking forward to the conversation.
Me too.
Yeah, happy to be here. And I might kick this off a little bit from something I'd noticed because again, y'all, I've just recently joined Percepta, so I think this is my start of my 7th week here. Which is awesome because, gosh, who put me in front of a camera? Like right out the gate. But yeah, no, it's great.
Even jumping into the deep end of the pool, Rachel.
Okay, see how you do. Well, speaking of that, I mean, it's like I remember, how like you get the whole all the onboarding stuff, like, oh my God, and I'm starting to get emails from everybody and whatever, and you're making some introductions. And Tammy, I remember when I first saw an email from you, and I saw this little nifty thing in your email signature. What's in your email signature?
It is that I am a mental health awareness instructor. So we actually put some Percepta wanted to put some oomph, it's not a good word, but they wanted to put some power behind the belief that we do believe that mental health is an important part of just being at Percepta. And so a couple of us went and became certified to be instructors. And we have, over the last year and a half, certified over 50 people within Percepta to be mental health first aid guides. So we look for signs and symptoms. We help be a guidepost for the EAP resources that we have within Percepta, and just be kind of a voice of you are not alone, right? Reduce the stigma, humanize experiences. And so it's been a fantastic journey. So we put that on our signatures so that it's one more recognition of, if I need to ask a question, I know who to ask.
Nice. That's amazing.
And it's kind of cool. We have quite a few of them throughout the company, you said.
Yeah, there's over 50 of them now.
So that's something that maybe if you haven't noticed it in people's signatures, if they have that, it's a good resource of somebody that you could definitely go and talk with about anything that may have going on.
Yeah, certainly. Cool. I mean, well, that's so hard too, right? I mean, I think Kellen, you mentioned we were all talking off air. We really wanted to say, well, should we all get real about what, because it's hard enough to try to tell people that maybe you need a mental health day, or that you're dealing with something that's just affecting stuff. And I'll add this caveat. I have a cold, if you can't tell. And I think your voice like, yes, we could totally tell. But I think we all look, I think that we're looking today at mental health as in whole health. It's just like if you break an arm, or have, internal bleeding or stuff like that, it's as important. So I'm just talking like, it's my cold. I'm sipping throat coat tea and I'm taking some medicine and stuff like that. And I might have a cough drop here at the ready in case I need it. Why would mental health be any different? Right? Why wouldn't you treat those symptoms and stuff? And did y'all want to talk a little bit about like maybe how we each personally, tackle our own mental health and stuff like that?
Absolutely. I think so. We promote a lot of self-care as well. And it's not just taking a break. It's not just breathing. Like you said, we take vitamins every day. Some people take medicine for different physical ailments, right? But there's that stigma that when it comes to mental wellness or mental well-being, it's not okay to talk about that. And we have to humanize that, because everybody, and I will speak personally, everybody, especially in my house, even since COVID, has had a lot of different experiences coming out of it. I know that there's more anxiety in my house, and we practice coping skills for that. And I think it's not just self-care, but like you said, it's that holistic approach. It's that whole person. You know, if I have a sprained ankle, I'm not going to just pretend it doesn't exist.
Right.
I'm going to ask somebody for help. So I think it's brave when people say, can I ask a question, or can you help me? Or do we have resources, or I don't know what to do. Humanizing that experience that you're not alone. We all come from all different experiences, and we can't really understand what others have gone through until we talk. So I totally am in support of the whole person project.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Tammy. And I mean, for me, like I found, because prior to coming here, I was always in a work in location kind of role where I was always in, and I could walk around and see people. And if I had a question of my boss, I'd just walk into her office and ask a question type of thing. And that's just not how it is now. I have to maybe send a message, or, hey, you got 5 to talk, or whatever. So it's that different interaction. And for me, like being in communications, I like that interaction, you know? So it's like, it's tough. So I have to find ways for myself, and a couple things that I like to do, especially if I'm in the middle of a creative project or something that takes a lot of time and strain on me. I'll take 5 minutes or 10 minutes and just crack a book open and read a couple pages. And I like to do it actively. So I'll take notes. And you'd be surprised how many good ideas you can come up with when you're in the middle of being doing that creative process of anything. And then reading that kind of more, this book that I'm reading is The Magic of Thinking Big. And it just gets your brain going in a different way. And it really helps juvenate ideas. And I think that I find myself being more productive when I take a minute and do that and then come back. And then I also like to just go on my normal walks here and there, just get outside and get rid of the cobwebs. So those are a couple of things that I really enjoy doing that help me kind of keep things going throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's a good point. There was a TED Talk that I saw recently that really spoke to me about in most of our roles, we wear the word busy as a badge.
Yeah.
And so instead of saying, I need to take 5 minutes and not feeling guilty because I need to go take 5 minutes,
right.
We give ourselves guilt. And that's one of the stigmas, right, that I think we need to work on removing as well. It's okay to walk away for a minute.
Yeah.
It's actually good.
It's so good. I know. I mean, and Kellen brought up a great point, because it's like, especially if you're creative, I mean, this really can apply to anybody, but staring at the screen, just constantly, and you're like, oh, I need to be inspired or something. Sometimes that walk away leads to the idea that you needed or you were looking for.
Absolutely.
And that's not the only thing it does, though, right? Because it's like, it just lets you break away. Remember, there are things outside in the world happening away from that screen, experiences, people, what have you. And I'll be honest too, like, and I appreciate both of you kind of sharing just where we are. I'm a, parent of 2, and I think we're all parents. But even if you're not, you've had probably people in your household that COVID did a number on us, and I remember I went on medication, like, probably, I think it was in 2020. It was just really hard to deal with a lot of stuff. I was having trouble sleeping. Have y'all, and anyone watching or, this video, when you like are trying to go to sleep, but your brain is like, oh, no. We're going to circulate on that one little thing that you need to do or get done, or that thing you need to solve, and you don't get rest. And I finally just went to my primary care provider. I'm like, I need some help here, and I'll be honest too. This is something I learned. I used to really think, oh, I have such a strong character because I don't need medication. And now, there's not, like you said, if you had a sprained ankle or anything like that, you would treat it. And whatever that thing needs is what you should have. And so it's good that we're talking about this, and everyone, if you're watching this, leave in the comments. Let's get real talk about this stuff. But it matters, because obviously this is a whole health, whole person. And we want to achieve that for everyone, for all of us on this call, for everyone watching, and of course, everyone at Percepta with the things that we do every day.
I think, Tammy, you had a good point too about the wearing busy as a badge of honor. And that's something that personally, like for me, I'm trying really hard to not say, oh, I'm so busy. I want to be effective in the things that I do. Right. And I think that mindset can really help, because you can trick yourself into saying, I'm so busy, and then it stresses you out. So it's really, I think, a little bit of a mind thing where it's like, let's focus on being effective, not busy.
Exactly.
And
everybody has full plates, right? There's nobody that I know of that doesn't have a full plate. But it doesn't mean that I'm trying to remove busy, I think, from my vocabulary, because it does put you into a different state of mind. I'm just too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy.
Yep.
Are we? I mean, we are busy, but what's important is important.
Yeah. I like that a lot. So, and then it's cool because we're really seeing this kind of change happen a little bit. I mean, especially here at Percepta, I feel where it's okay to talk about this. It's okay to say, hey, boss, I am struggling today. I need to take a little bit of a lunch break and just go whatever. And it's like, yeah, go, please. And we're hearing it from higher and higher levels. I mean, all the time. So it's refreshing in that sense that it's not just like a doubt, like, oh yeah, it's cool, like whatever, but it's not really, actually a thing. And that's not the case here, which is great.
Yeah,
it is. And I more and more get requests for, we're struggling with, or there's some high stress, or there's, whatever's going on. Do you have team building or connection activities, or what can we do to reach out to our teammates? And I think a lot of times people over-engineer connection and they over-engineer a solution. And sometimes just sending a message to your team that says, how's everybody doing today? Check in. Right?
Yeah.
And it can be that simple. We do the 2-word check-in a lot. I'll send out a message, 2 words today. How you feeling? Right? And it's just it's a connection. It really kind of helps recenter me, but a lot of people. So I think we try and over-engineer a lot of things.
And I think too, Tammy, kind of being able to talk about it amongst yourself, amongst your group, amongst maybe your person that you talk to often at work, like talking about mental health helps promote like acceptance, and it really encourages people to go and get help that they might need. Like it's okay to do it. So I think talking about it is a big part of it, and a big step to like saying, hey boss, or hey friend, I'm kind of having a hard day, a hard week, a hard month. Would you chat with me for a few? And like that open dialogue can really help to see like, okay, it's okay to do this. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, to Rachel's point, I'm going to go to my doctor and see what I can do. Like that's right. It's good to talk about it, I think.
It is.
Yeah. And I Tammy, you do such a great job too. Cause I've obviously been on calls with you, and I love those little prompts that you do give people. Cause that in a nutshell, even if the word that someone's day is,
exactly. That's okay. That's an okay response.
Right.
How you feel.
Right. And I mean, just getting that little bit so we know, okay, here we know what headspace you're in and stuff like that. And I joked with my team too, because obviously we do, to Kellen's point, we're all distributed, and there are people in the office, but some of them aren't. And so I was, how in teams, like you could like go send someone a message, say, hey, and then nothing else. And just even that can like be like, what's coming? I don't know. Would you go up to someone's cubicle and be like, hey, and then just let it sit awkwardly? No. And so but you set such a great example. And again, I love that there's this effort. And I think you even last week, I believe you said, and you referred to this earlier, did a training for the mental health kind of first aid people, the touch points here at Percepta. Could you talk a little bit more about that? Like, for anyone at Percepta or anyone else who might think this is a great idea, we should do this at our company. What does that mean?
It's a fantastic curriculum. It's actually by the National Council of Wellbeing. And we went and we became certified as instructors. They provide all of the content. It's a couple of days of talking about what the signs and symptoms of a mental crisis might be. And it's a non-crisis or worsening signs and symptoms, and then the crisis, right? So that it prepares you. One, people in crisis don't know what to do to help, right? I'm not a doctor. I can't help you, right? But there are things that we can do to help either signpost or even say, you're not alone. Let's talk, or I'll listen. We don't diagnose, we don't treat, we are not the doctor. But one, it brings an awareness to things that you didn't know that you didn't know. And that is so effective in so many lives. And that is one of the things we hear all the time after the training is, yeah, I didn't realize, or I didn't know, or now that I do, I feel more comfortable being able to talk to somebody about it, right? Those are difficult conversations sometimes to come up to somebody and say, are you okay?
Right.
Because you don't know what you're going to hear. Right. And so there's bravery in asking for help, but there's also a confidence that somebody has to have in being able to ask the question. Mm-hmm. I noticed that you're not quite yourself the past couple of days. Is everything okay?
Yeah. Tammy, and I want to ask you too. So this just popped into my brain because it's like, I think we're all used to the pat answer of fine. I'm fine. How do you get, when you know, and you can tell that that's just, oh, that's the word they're saying. I mean, what do you do when you hear someone say that and you're like, I sense there's something else going on? Is there a better way to get a different answer than fine?
Well, there's a couple of things. So when people do answer fine, most of the time I build really good relationships with people, and I feel comfortable saying, I don't think you're fine, or you don't sound fine, or you're not acting fine. Are you sure? Right. And then it opens that door that, okay, you really do want to hear what I have to say. You're not just, it's not just lip service. Are you doing okay today? So that's one way. And the other is, I try not to have fine be the available answer, right? I'll say, give me 2 words today that describe how you are. Or, well, you know what I mean? Something that prompts a different response. So fine's not an option. I need to know where you are and how you are. It's like giving your kids that yes or no response. You're always going to get a yes or no response. So give them that open-ended question that makes them talk to you. So there's a couple of things that I do, but it really all starts with that relationship you build with people around you, right? Yep. Nobody feels comfortable talking to a stranger or somebody that they don't think really cares. So it's building that relationship that people go, yeah, you're going to listen to me, so it's okay to talk.
And Tammy, one other cool thing that we're doing is we're really incorporating this whole mindset of well-being with our Percy Perks, which is our global rewards and recognition program. Talk to us a little bit about that, because that's a really cool idea for people that maybe are looking for ways to get this stuff going in their company too.
So we really put an emphasis on employee engagement, and we want to know how our employees want to be recognized, thanked, all of the things within that. But we also heard that they want to be more in control of their points. So it's a point system, right? And you build up your points to get the stuff that you want. So we incorporated a couple of earn programs. So you have the opportunity every month to go in and earn your own points, right? You don't have to wait for somebody to see how awesome you are. You can go in and earn these on your own. So we have one program that demonstrates our values, and there's an activity every month where you can do that. But then we also created a well-being program. So we're encouraging everybody to show us within whatever the topic is, how they are practicing their self-care, their well-being, things that they want to try. We're trying to open those conversation and that dialogue so that it does reduce some of that stigma. We offer people to either upload pictures of what they do. And we've got some fantastically talented people at Percepta that I would never have known. Pottery, crochet, singing, I mean, all kinds of creative outlets that people have for self-care, right? And it could be reading, it could be walking, it could be cuddling your puppy. So we try and provide those outlets, but then that's also an earn program. So not only are we saying it's a good idea for you to take care of yourself as a whole person, but we're saying, we recognize how important it is, and you can earn additional Percy points by doing this. We have had an outpouring of so many cool ideas that people have shared with us that it's just fantastic. I'm so excited that we implemented that, and it's going so well.
And Tammy, this is not an ad because we don't run ads on this show, but if we're going to run an ad on this show, we do have a survey coming up towards the summer that maybe you want to just chat about quickly.
Gotcha. we do our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging survey once a year. Yep. And it is a global survey. And it is our way of making sure that we are developing programs that are important to our employees. It gives us a pulse check. It also helps us know where we need to drill down a little bit more and ask more questions. Yeah. So that's coming up, and that is in August. So it's really, really important that everybody takes it. It's a little bit longer of a survey, but it's because it's really important. Yeah. And we need to know, where we can be most supportive and most beneficial as a company.
So I love it. I love that. We should all take it. And again, these are such great ideas. I love anyone watching this if you're in Percepta, you're part of it. But if you're not, you're like, how do I start tackling this stuff? You just gave everyone some great places to get started. And I personally am going to start, Kellen, you're on my team. So, I'm going to start doing the 2-word thingy, be like, hey, 2-word check. How's your day going? Yep. What's going on? But it's a great idea. It's amazing. And just some of those little, like you said, not over-engineered points of contact and ways to connect with people are so.
And they're good conversation starters too. I mean, I think last week I got under caffeinated and excited or something, right? It was you're like under caffeinated. Go get the coffee. Go get your 5 minutes. Go take the coffee break. Yeah. Or go get it. Bring it back. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, those are some really cool stuff that you are doing here, Tammy, with your group, and it's really appreciated and it's well seen. And I know it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of really, really great work. And I know you guys are just very passionate about it. I see it all the time. So, anything else that either of you guys wanted to add before we wrap up here? I just want to make sure I'm not cutting anybody off here.
I would just say, celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month in May through whatever channel suits you best. Yeah. But do your part to reduce stigma and humanize experiences for everybody.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. And I always like, it's important these months or these days on the calendar come around to remind us, but really every day is Mental Health Awareness Day, and we can make sure that happens. But Tammy, thanks for a lot of the tools that you just gave us to make sure we make this a daily thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, and just closing thoughts here, but I know, because I know these two both very well at this point. I mean, Tammy and I have been working together for a while, and Rachel's just come onto the team and been like awesome. So, but I know the three of us, I can speak for us to say, if you have things that you need to talk about, if you have questions, if you're concerned, we can all be an open ear, and don't hesitate to reach out. I'm certain that Tammy and Rachel would be there for me or for anybody that needs it. And I would love to be there for anybody as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us on the teams. We're happy to help you out and chat through anything that you got going on. So.
That's right. Great note to end on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mental health. Woohoo.
Well, thank you both for joining today, Rachel. It's always great to co-host with you. We are going to have another health or mental health related show coming up in 2 weeks. So everybody stay tuned for that. More details will come on that. Tammy, always a pleasure. We thank you so much for coming on and giving some great knowledge. And if anybody has any questions, I'm sure they'll reach out, and we encourage it. So thank you, everybody that watches. Hope everybody has a great week.
Thanks for the chat, everyone.
Thank you.